Last night when I was on the way home, I got a message from somebody, and he asks me, what happens if someone is looking for a shidduch, and he can't find it, and is it possible that he lost his shidduch? Is it possible he lost his shidduch? Is there anywhere in the Torah that he lost his shidduch? Now, he says, now he knows that things that I say in the shiurim, Baruch Hashem, he watches the shiurim, he says, I'm doing TeShuva, I keep Mitzvah, I keep Shabbat, I do all the things. But it's still possible because maybe, the parents are a little bit difficult, or the guy is a little picky, or this one, is it possible to just lose the shidduch? So the only thing I know of for sure that causes a person to lose their shidduch is sins. Specifically speaking, wasting seed. When a person wastes seed, they could potentially get the punishment from heaven to lose their shidduch. Now, can they get it back? Yes, if they do tshuva, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu has mercy on them, like He always has on us, then they could potentially get shidduch back. But the Gemara in Masechet Sotah says that the shidduch of a person comes based on his actions, based on her actions. If he's righteous, he gets a modest woman. If he's wicked, he gets an immodest woman. And the Gemara asks, what does the one thing have to do with the other? If he's righteous, he should get a righteous woman, not a modest. What does it have to do with the other? So Rashi on the place over there says, if she's modest, then most likely she's righteous. That's why the righteous guy, the tzaddik, gets a modest woman. If he's not righteous, if he's a rasha, then he gets a not modest woman. Why? Rashi says, if she's not modest, she's definitely not righteous. You cannot be righteous and at the same time an enemy of Hashem. Why an enemy of Hashem? Because anytime you're a woman and you walk around immodest, other people look at you. Some of those people are Jews, some of those people are non-Jews, and they're going to look at you and they're going to have iurim. They're going to have different thoughts in their mind. They're going to go to take him to places that don't belong. They're going to think of you in different ways, and different this, and different that, and they're going to end up making sins because of you, which means that you are a walking bionuclear weapon. You're killing people just simply by being next to them. They don't have to be with you. They don't have to touch you. They don't even have to talk to you. They look at you one time, they see you, Hashem, walking around immodest, that's it. You just killed them. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you're just killing my kids. You're killing my creation. How could I love you? How could I accept your prayer? So a person that is a rasha gets a woman that's a reshait. How is she a reshait? She walks around immodest. Even if she puts on the candles for Shabbat, even if she keeps Shabbat, even if she eats kosher, if she's not modest, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says she's in the book of Reshaim. Now this is a very, very difficult thing for women to accept because many women love the mitzvot. Some women, I wish they were guys. Some of the women that watch the shiurim, I wish they were guys. They are, mamash, the best students in the world. They show up on time, unlike you people. They do a lot of good things. They learn every shiur. Not like they're doing me a favor. They watch. They love the shiurim. They send questions. They give answers. All types of wonderful things. These women, ishtabach shimo, I wish they were guys. But the problem is, they dress like guys. Why? They walk around with tank tops. They walk around with shorts. And that's a problem. Why? Because all of the shiurei Torah that you're watching are all going to the sitra achra. They're all going to give power to the Satan. Why? Because unfortunately, until you do tshuva for modesty as a woman, you simply are putting yourself in the book of Reshaim. So that's why, Rabotai Karim, it's very, very critical for a woman to be modest. And I know it's difficult because the Yetzer Hara tells you it's too hot. Or Yetzer Hara tells you it's too old. Makes you look like an old lady to put a kisur rosh on. Makes you look like an old lady to put a long skirt on. Makes you look like this, makes you look like that, which is all stupid and lies. Why? I've never seen a modest woman complain about her clothes. I've never seen a modest woman complain about how she looks. All of the questions that she has is usually before she starts putting on modest clothes. After she decides, okay, from now on I'm wearing modest clothes, she doesn't complain about it anymore. Why? Because she realized the whole thing is fake. It's not too hot. And she doesn't look like an old lady. And the reality is she's finding that people are finding her even more attractive. Her husband finds her more attractive. Yeah, but what about a woman that has a husband where he tells her, listen, you put on a kisur rosh, I'm leaving you. You put on a mitpach on your head, I'm leaving you. The Zohar Kadosh says on a person like this, that husband is ahur. He's cursed from heaven. He's not going to be able to have good living. Whatever money he makes is all going to go to bills. It's all going to get to medical expenses. It's all going to go to the IRS. He's not going to have any bracha in his parnasah. He is cursing himself by telling his wife not to put on kisurosh. Does she have to listen to him? She's forbidden to listen to him. Doesn't matter what he says. He can yell, he can scream, he can do whatever you want. He can even threaten to do a get. Say to her, give me a get then. I'd rather you give me a get than give me gehinnom, as she should tell him. That's the reality. So now a woman that's not modest, she's married, she doesn't put kisurosh on. She's not modest, even if she's single. She has a very serious problem with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because she's creating sinners. So now, since guys today, standard guy, unfortunately has sinned many times, either by himself or with somebody, even sometimes with his own wife. He didn't know, he wasn't allowed to do certain things. So Chazal gave us a special tikkun, special auspicious time to do tikkunim for the Brit, which is during the entire time that we read Sefer Shemot, Exodus. We start with the blessing where we see that Am Yisrael went from being 70 people at the end for the first over 2,400 years or more, 2,600 years of creation. What do we finish with? At the end of Sefer Bereshit, 70 Jews. That's what we had. The first half of this world. We have, let's say, around 5,700 years or so, 5,780. First, almost 3,000 years. Almost 3,000 years. How many Jews we have in the world? We have 70. Yaakov Avinu, the Shvatim, their wives, that's it. Grandkids, that's it, finished. 70. Already, beginning of Sefer Shemot, you're not fast-forwarding that much. 200 years. We're already in the millions. The Midrash MAZAL says we were in the hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. We're not talking about, like today we have 15 million that we barely even know if they're Jewish or not. No, we're talking about hundreds of millions. Hundreds. So you're going to say, wait a minute, where do they all go? The Midrash MAZAL says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Bnei Israel, okay, it's time to leave the slavery, it's time to leave the Avodah Zarah, it's time to leave Egypt, let's go. Go to the desert, get to Mount Sinai, accept my Torah. Unfortunately, they didn't want to leave their Avodah Zarah. They didn't want to leave their business. They didn't want to leave their house. They didn't want to leave. Why? They said, listen, we were slaves already for over 100 years over here. Finally, we're not slaves. Let us live in peace. We don't want to go into the desert. There's danger over there. There's scorpions, there's snakes the size of houses. Who wants to go in such a place? Some people from the tribe of Ephraim left early, or Benjamin left early. They got killed in the desert. We won't all go. No, we're going to stay here. Yeah, but don't you realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that told you he's going to protect you, he's going to take you? No, oh no, they forgot that part. It's like, people say, yeah, I like Shabbat, I like driving more. I say, yeah, but don't you realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that says don't drive on Shabbat? Because when did he say it? I said, fourth commandment. Fourth commandment, he says, do not drive on Shabbat. No, God said it. Fourth commandment, go look, it up, Parashat Yitro, don't drive on Shabbat. God said it, not Yaron Reuven. So what happens? People, oh, wow, he really said it? Oh, wow, okay, so if he really said it, listen now, it's hard. Wait, but you said that the only problem is that you didn't know that God said it. Now I showed you that God said it. Now how come it's still hard? Well, you know what happens to people that say, oh, it's hard? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Am Yisrael, leave Egypt. Leave the Avodah Zarah. Leave your houses. Go to the desert where it looks dangerous, but don't worry, I'll take care of you. They say, we're not ready, it's hard. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what, it's hard, okay, so I'll kill you then instead. And he killed 99% of them. 99% of them. That's what the Midrash MAZAL says. It says only 2 people out of every million. Only 2 people out of every million left Egypt. 1 out of every 500,000. Now some say, no, it was 20. It was 20 out of every 100, meaning 200,000 out of a million. That's the conservative estimate, meaning he killed 80%. But the Midrash MAZAL says, no, everybody knows it's not that. They're just trying to make you feel good. Everybody knows it's nothing less than 1 out of 5,000, but in reality it's possible it's 1 out of 500,000, meaning 2 out of every million. Why? They said it's hard. It's hard to keep the mitzvot. It's hard to leave the this. Okay, Kadosh Baruch Hu says it's hard. Okay, you lost your right to exist. Now, how many did we have? Many. How do we get so many? It says in the beginning of parasha, Paru v'yishretzu v'yirbu v'yatzu v'meod meod v'temaleh haaretz otam. In the first chapter, verse number 7, it says the children of Israel were fruitful, teemed, increased, became strong, very, very much so, and the land became filled with them. And Chazal on the spot over there says that for every adjective, every description that magnified their success of increasing is one baby, is describing one extra baby in every birth. Meaning, since there are 6 adjectives describing their increase in population, every birth was 6 babies. Every time a woman was carrying for 9 months, 6 little babies came out, sometimes more. So imagine, average little couple, they get married, they're 16, 17 years old. You know, in those days, it weren't like today, married at 45. In those days, sometimes they get married 12 years old, they're already married. So imagine, little 16-year-old, she already gave birth to a second pair already. She's got 12 kids. Shtabach Shimo. By the time she's in her 30s, she's got 60, 70 kids. You need an 18-wheeler to feed them breakfast. What do you want for breakfast? By the time you finish getting the orders, it's already lunch. By the time you get the order, you're already lunch. You're producing, shtabach shimo. But guess what? You got helpers too. Got a lot of free help. But that's how we got to the point of being millions. Meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, in order to get you from being just a few million to being a few billion, it's easy for me. In order for you to go from being homeless, mamash homeless in the streets with nothing to eat, to being the richest man in the world, Hashem says, in a second I could do it. Yosef HaTzadik was worse than homeless. Worse than homeless. He's in jail in a hole in the bottom of the ground. 12 years he's there. Gehenom was looking at it, he's like, you know what, maybe we're going to do some of the things they're doing in that jail. It's got good ideas over there. That's how bad his situation was in his jail for 12 years. 1 second, same day, within a matter of minutes, becomes the king. The amount of money that Paro gave him on day 1, the signing bonus, made him the richest man in the world. Rabotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says it's easy for me to turn your situation around. To you it's hard. Why? Because you're thinking you have to do something. You have to go make money, you have to go get a job, you have to go sign a deal, you have to get a good client, you have to have this, you have to have that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the only thing you have to do is be glued to me. Glued to me, I can do anything I want. Why? Because now you're not giving me any reasons to destroy your bracha. Now, the problem is, Rabotai, is that when we teach mitzvot, to little kids, we teach mitzvot to converts, we teach mitzvot to Baalei Tshuva, really what you're supposed to teach, you're supposed to first teach them what not to do. Not what to do. What not to do. Don't drive on Shabbat. Don't eat chelev, which is non-kosher meat, part of the cow. Don't eat non-kosher meat in general. Don't hang out with bad people. Don't do illegal business like cash advance and otherwise. Don't do a lot of this stuff. Why? Because if you do it, you're going to lose all HaBa. Yeah, what about put on tefillin? What about, have a nice candles for Shabbat, spend $300-400 just on the things that hold them? What about that stuff? It's nice, right? Yeah, it's nice, but it's not significant enough to teach you that first. What's the most significant? First teach you what not to do. What not to do. That's how the Torah works. This is why the Torah says first we have to fear Hashem, then we have to love Him. And Chazal explains because we do not decrease in Kedusha. The first, you cannot teach a person to just love Hashem. Why? Because loving Hashem is to a lesser extent than fearing Hashem. It's lesser extent. Now, when a person understands that fear Hashem is critical, already he knows, already she knows, okay, what does it mean fear Hashem? A bunch of stuff not to do. Don't go to places that you're not supposed to go to. Don't do certain things you're not supposed to do. So when you fear Hashem, already it alleviates all of your crimes, all of the things that are destroying the blessing that Hashem wants to give you. Now, when a person does not have real fear of Hashem, or he has fear of Hashem sometimes, when it's convenient, like one of those people. He fears Hashem until he doesn't. She fears Hashem until there's a wedding. She fears Hashem all year. All year she puts a kisur rosh on, but if somebody's getting married, all of a sudden the kisur rosh goes in the laundry. She forgot it, home. He is tzaddik, kasher, goes daf yomi, daf sheni, daf this, daf that, all the shurim, he does everything, but one of his friends says, listen, you want to go to a basketball game? Want to go to a basketball game? Oh, sure, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Well, what else would I be doing? Oh, you're not going to a shiur that night? No, sure, I get the next night. Next night I'm going to go to shiur. What does it mean? It means that all of the times that he did mitzvot, all of that yirat shamayim that he showed people, it's all fake. Why? He didn't have any yetzirah. Yetzirah showed up with a basketball tickets, Yetzirah showed up with a girl, Yetzirah showed up with a guy, Yetzirah showed up with a dog, Yetzirah showed up with a cat, whatever Yetzirah shows up, he gives up everything. He throws Hashem in the laundry. So that's what I mean by it says they have Yirat Shamayim sometimes. It's fake, it's not Yirat Shamayim. It's either you have it or you don't have it. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I want to give you blessings. Look what I did to Bnei Israel. Even before they kept my entire Torah. I multiplied them to the extent where they went from 70 people to millions, to hundreds of millions. They had kol tuv, they had everything, until obviously Paro changed the whole deal, everything else, they were doing okay, they had their own city, they had everything. Why did he change it? Why did Hashem change the whole thing? Because Bnei Israel started peeking into the world of the Goyim. Oh, they have basketball games there. Let's have basketball games in our synagogue. Oh, they have football over there. Let's have football league in our synagogue. Oh, they have a casino there. Let's have casino night in our synagogue. They started peeking into the world of the Goyim. So Goshen turned into a mini Las Vegas sometimes. Not all year round, just sometimes. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, either you're with me or you're not with me. You're not with me, you're with the Goyim. Okay, so I'll let the Goyim take control. We lost the blessing not because we didn't do mitzvot. We lost the blessings because of sins. We lose the blessings because of sins, not because mitzvot. That's why, Rabotai, Sefer Shmot is a key opportunity for all of us to do TeShuva for immorality. Immorality includes wasting seed. Immorality includes promiscuity. Immorality includes immodesty. Immorality is something that in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's eyes, this is the symbol of the Torah. This is the symbol of Judaism. This is what distinguishes us from all of the other nations. Kadoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. You be holy because I am holy. And what makes a Jew more holy than a non-Jew? Modesty. A non-Jew doesn't have chuppah and kiddushim. He wants a girl, she wants the guy, no problem. They're not allowed to chas v'shalom, adultery or rape or anything like that. But they like each other, they want to be together, no problem. You don't have to go to court. The guy goes with the girl, they go to the same house, they're intimate, that's it. In Hashem's eyes, they're married. Now, the next morning, they both wake up Tisha B'Av. They don't like each other anymore. They don't have to go to the divorce office. They said, okay, I don't like you, goodbye. Okay, we're not married anymore. Not married anymore. Now, should they be promiscuous, do this every day? No, obviously not. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will hate that. But the point being, there's no chuppah and kiddushim for non-Jews. But to be a Jew, you have to go through DNA tests these days. If you're Ashkenazi, they actually do take DNA tests. Why? Because there's certain things in the blood of Ashkenazim that that could actually create, there's certain diseases that they're careful of and so on. When two Ashkenazim that are religious get married, before they get married, they do tests to see if, chas v'shalom, the two blood types are a bad match, if you will, and it could create problematic children. This is in recent generation. In the past, they wouldn't do it. But the point being, Rabotai Karim, is that even without the DNA test, before you get married, before you get the girl, before you get the guy, you have to have the interview, the rabbi, the father, the mother, the brothers, this, that. Who's our brothers? She have good brothers? She doesn't have good brothers? Oh, forget it. No, what do you mean? But her brothers, what does that have to do with her? Listen, if her brothers are like that, maybe all types of things. Then finally, okay, she likes him, he likes her. Oh, the brothers are good, the sisters are good, everything is good. Okay, how much money you got? What do you mean how much money I got? Don't you just want the girl? No. I want the girl and the money. Yeah, well, I don't have any money. Okay, you don't have any money, you can't have my son. What? What do you mean? I need this. Oh, what? It's Mesirut Nefesh to get married. Then finally you agreed on the money. You've signed it, everything is good. Okay, now you have to have a ketubah. You got to go through ketubah. You have to understand, what does it say? Oh, you're buying this girl. What does it mean buying this girl? You're not buying anybody. No, I'm really buying you. You're mine now. How much you going to give me if you don't do this? You have to agree. How much you going to give her if you mess up? You mess up, you decide you don't want her next week, okay, no problem, pay for it. Why? Because a Bat Israel is not some prutza, is not some zonah that you could just get from the street. A Bat Israel is expensive in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's eyes. You can't just rent her for a week. You mess up, you think you're fooling around, you think that you're having a game, you're going to touch a Bat Israel, Rabotai, you're going to pay for it one way or the other. No, but she likes me. If you don't have a ketubah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like you. If you don't have a ketubah, you didn't sign a ketubah and you're touching a Bat Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you have business with me. You have a problem with me. Why? You're touching my daughter without even talking to me? So unfortunately, many of us never knew any of this stuff growing up. So you thought you had a kosher relationship, everything was good, she was even Jewish, he was even Jewish, everything is good. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, without ketubah, you have a very serious problem. Why? Without a ketubah, she's not allowed to go to the mikveh. She's not going to the mikveh, you touch her, you do something with her. By the way, what'd you do? Isur karet, nida. You go to Parashat Kedushim and in the book of Leviticus, I think it's chapter 20, verse number 17, says what happens to a person with a nida? Kareti karet. What's karet? Oh, genom. How long? Forever. Just a little bit longer. Why? I was having a good time. Okay, have a good time. You touch my, Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you touch my daughter without a ketubah, without a mikveh, you have a serious problem.